The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. The Chicory House Bistro at the Rink offers breakfast and lunch daily. And now a new bar upstairs inside the Garden District Bookshop, 2727 Britannia Street at Washington Avenue. Learn more at therinknola.com. Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
Whether it's the latest museum exhibit, the newest restaurant, or the current hot play,
we appreciate the weekly updates on the arts, music, and entertainment.
let's step out.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Tifferney White, Chief Executive Officer of the Louisiana Children's Museum. Welcome back. It's good to
Thank
see you
you.
again.
Great to
Hello.
be here.
I'm thrilled. Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio.
Hey,
Hello,
Peg.
my dear. Lin Cathright, and she is the co-artistic director of Fireweeds Theater, but she's also in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? And so we're going to have a special preview of that a little bit later. Very exciting. Alan Smason is the editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Poppy, first up, restaurant news.
Well, looking to fuel up and get your New Year's Eve started right, I would suggest you think about eating at Melissa Arroyo's delicious Honduran restaurant, Alma Cafe on Louisa Street. They're going to be open on New Year's Day from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can get that base set in with her fritas Honduras, the bayeda sencilla, forgive my lack of Spanish, eggs, refried beans. There's a homemade crema she does with queso fresca and avocado on homemade tortillas. And by the way, those tortillas are so special. I learned from her recently, coconut water is one of her secret ingredients in those house-made tortillas. You could have the perfect steak breakfast, beefsteak enchilada, and oh Lord, her lemon ricotta pancakes are so divine. The food is really, really good. And of course, big restaurant news very soon. We're going to see in January the new Alma Cafe right on the corner of Bienville and Carrollton. I can't wait.
Such good news.
So, coming next, more big restaurant news. You know, Carnival right around the corner. That means it's time to eat meat. So, I suggest you get that meat eating started at Nola's newest steakhouse, the Husky on Ferret Street. Now, this is the location that was Wayfair. Most recently, it was the Acropolis. You're not going to recognize it at all.
No.
John Michael Rowland and Winnie Rubin, his wife and partner and the pastry chef, these are the folks behind Pigeon and Whale, which is, of course, incredible New England-style seafood. And what they've done for seafood, they're doing across the street with meat. It's a Colorado-style steakhouse experience. They have transformed that space, look at it, into a clubby, intimate, very cool restaurant. And of course there's a fabulous bar. And you can just look at the ice to see the attentions to detail. Now the food is fantastic. Crispy oysters with spinach pancetta and a tomato hollandaise. How about some lamb lollipops with harissa yogurt, a pistachio crust, and feta salad? That's my big pick, the roasted bone marrow with escargot. And of course, there's all the sides. Look at that beautiful piccata. The sides, how about carrots roasted with cashews and honey? There's chicken, fish, pork, penne, which we saw. But let's get to the meat of the matter. First of all the steaks are under $50, which is really a deal these days. And it's all USDA prime. It's all the cuts you want. But there's also beef Wellington. And remember that Winnie is that incredible pastry chef, so you can just imagine what the chocolate cake is like. But the cool factor is pretty extreme over there. Look at that chocolate cake. Oh my Lord, was it good. There's espresso martinis. Look at that image. And there's, of course, incredible old fashions made with whiskey. You can get them with mezcal. You can get them with rum. But it's not very often that I show the bathroom on TV. But even the cool factor in the bathroom is so awesome. You'll note the little dogs on the wallpaper. And of course, that's a tribute to those famous husky sled dogs that the restaurant was named for. Wow. And so I really strongly recommend the husky. It's fabulous. Look at that.
So funny.
It's so cool. It's incredibly cool on Ferret Street. And then, speaking of steak, I just wanted to tell everybody that the Medium Rare Restaurant Group out of D.C. that opened on Magazine Street in the last year is hosting their annual New Year's Day pajama brunch. And there's $100 gift cards for categories like Best Family Jammies, Most Creative Costume, Most Best Group, and that's from 10:30 until 4 p.m. And it's steak and eggs and bottomless mimosas and $34.95. What a deal.
Thank you so much. And moving over to Tifferney and City Park at the Louisiana Children's Museum. Okay, whoever came up with the clever title, Happy New Year's Eve, what can we expect?
Well, we are so delighted to be able to have an event that's specially designed for children and them celebrating New Year's Eve. And so it's called New Year's Eve. We welcome in local families and visitors. We expect the event to be even better than in years past. Lots of learning and laughter happening. Lots of great activities, music and face painting and dancing and games.
Look at that, the confetti.
And all the fun activities. And then it ends with this explosion of colorful confetti and bubbles at the end. Yeah. Big celebration. We are so excited.
So face painting, everything for the family, of course.
Face painting, they get to make their own noise makers, festive paper bag hats. A lot of fun.
That's a really cute idea. Now, if for some reason can't get there on New Year's Eve, though, how's the museum? Maybe some people have not been yet.
The museum is alive and well. We have great exhibits and all different kinds of activities happening. It's a great place for learning and family fun and building memories and growing. We have lots of great exhibits there. We have the Mississippi River that's always active with lots of fun. And other activities as well are happening.
And of course, Dickie Brennan's
the Acorn.
The Acorn,
yes. Such fun for breakfast
right next
and
door. So that sounds pretty good to me. So
yes.
very, very good.
Yes.
Now, Lin, welcome once again. You are with Fireweeds Theater.
Yes.
And Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf to kick off the year? Ambitious?
It is. It's our second production. And so, why not go big? And it opens in January. We've been in rehearsal for a while, and it's coming together.
Now, a little bit earlier, your cast came to our studio. And now, set up who's in the cast, who's in the scene.
Well, in this scene and in the cast, there's only 4 people, of course. I'm playing Martha, and Casey Groves plays George. Logan Macrae plays Nick, and my partner in the theater company, Jaclyn Bethany, is playing Honey. So,
wow. Well, before we go further, let's take a look at a scene from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
No, if I can't do my interpretive dance, I don't want to dance with anyone. I'll just sit here and... Okay, stop. Let's go.
Oh, hi.
Hi. We'll just sit here and watch.
That's right.
oh, you
are strong, aren't you?
They're dancing like they've danced before.
It's a familiar dance. They both know it.
Don't be shy.
I'm not. It's a very old ritual, old as they come.
I don't know what you mean.
The way you move.
I like the way you move. They like the way they move.
That's nice.
I'm surprised George didn't give you his side of things.
I think you, well, he didn't.
That surprises me.
Does it?
Yeah, he usually does when he gets the chance.
Well, what do you know?
Oh, it's really a very sad story.
You have ugly talents,
Is
Martha.
it?
It would make you weep.
Hideous gift.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Don't encourage her.
Encourage me.
I warn you, don't encourage her.
Oh, I want you. Don't encourage me.
I heard him. Tell me more.
Well, Georgie boy had a lot of big ambitions in spite of something funny in his past.
Martha.
Which Georgie boy turned into a novel. His first attempt and his last. Hey, I know it.
Martha. I warn you, Martha.
Yes. Fine. Go on. Go on.
But Daddy took a look at Georgie's novel. And he was very
You're looking for a punch in the mouth, you know that, Martha?
He was.
Yeah, the story all about a naughty boy child.
I will not tolerate this.
A naughty boy child who killed his mother and father dead.
Hey, wait a minute.
Stop it, Martha.
And Daddy said, look here, I will not let you publish such a thing.
That's it. Dancing's over. That's it. Go on now.
What do you think you're doing, huh?
Violence! Violence!
All right, so Fireweeds Theater, Edward Albee's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So kicking off January the 5th.
Yes.
Okay, and the space, Big Couch, New Orleans. Tell me about that.
It's a really interesting space. We did our very first show there. It was called Outraged Hearts, and we did 2 Tennessee Williams 1-acts. And the space is what they usually teach comedy there. They do a lot of improv classes and some shows there. And they have a theater set up for that. And then they also have what they were using as a storage room. And when we did our first show there, we were going to do it in the theater. And the first show we did do in the theater, it was more comedic piece and it fit well in there. But for our other show, it was Interior Panic, which is one of the precursors for Streetcar. And we didn't feel like it fit in that other space. And so we looked at this other room, which they were using for storage, and we're like, can we use this room? And they were like, well, yeah, I guess so. So they moved their stuff out. And then we were going back into that room, into what was the storage room. It's very small, and so we've created, this play basically takes place in a living room. And we like to do very immersive theater. So, it's very intimate, and the audience it's only 28 people, so it's very close.
Get your tickets now.
Yeah.
The website to go get your tickets.
You can get your tickets from our website, which is thefireweeds.org.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it's very intimate and small, and it works really well. I think our set is really cool. We have the living room space, and then we've also built out some of the other spaces that you don't normally see where some action takes place, like in Martha's bedroom and also in the bathroom where Honey hangs
Well, Lynn,
out a
I've
lot.
got to tell you, though, talk about a good actress, because you're barely recognizable. Here you are, and then you're an orange in there, and totally transformed. Congratulations. Looking forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And speaking of theater, oh
Well,
my
yeah, we got a lot
goodness,
to cover.
Alan.
This is the second
Begin,
night,
sir.
the second night of Hanukkah, the second day of Christmas. We prepare to say goodbye to 2024, and I just want to take some time out to really go over some of the local productions that hit the local boards and break it down to different categories. So consider that, yes, some of the ones at the top are going to be the top picks for me. But let's get started with musicals. This is really the first one I want to not stop with enough praise to heap on Leslie Clavery for her incredible performance as Reno Sweeney in Summer Lyric at Tulane's Anything Goes by Cole Porter. The house literally stopped for a full minute, that performance after Blow, Gabriel Blow. The whole production was absolutely stunning. And the prize for the best debut of a director should go to Jeanne Buisson for her incredible work in Beautiful. That was the regional debut for what is subtitled as the Carole King musical at Le Petit Theatre. Tyler Walls played Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Mr. Hyde in the JPAS production of Jekyll Hyde by Frank Wildhorn with sisters-in-law Monique Fleur and Stephanie Aubrey. We see them here with another director, Ken Good Jr., who made his directorial debut. Then, of course, another musical with murderous intent was Summer Lyric's beautifully rendered Sweeney Todd, with Liz Argus as Mrs. Lovett and Austin Adomatis as the demon barber of Fleet Street. Meanwhile, in Kenner, Rivertown Theater's performing arts were busy with several excellent productions. The first was the regional premiere of The Prom, and they followed up with one of the best versions of Hairspray to grace a local stage, even though it was a canned soundtrack. Although I found the production a little bit lacking for JPAS, the wife, Nadine Kuhn, who played Mary Magdalene, and her husband, Michael Moore, who returned to his native New Orleans to portray the title role in Jesus Christ Superstar, was quite good. Let's take a look at some of our area's best plays now. The latest original work by Ricky Graham, oh my goodness, it finished its run last weekend. It's a Wonderful Life, y'all. Took that favorite original Frank Capra movie and made it naturally New Orleans. Ricky even played himself at the beginning and the end of the show to connect the work even more. Of course, he directed it. A beautiful piece. We're also very pleased to see another Christmas classic presented by the Crescent City Stage. It was an adaptation of the Christmas Carol, twice in as many Christmases now, and the first time that Liz Elkins Newcomer had directed her husband and fellow co-artistic director of Crescent City, Michael Newcomer. Another one of Crescent City Stage's important works was The Cake by Becca Brunstetter. This was a story that really touched on the clash of LGBTQ and Christian values. And then the NOLA Project, of course, they went through a number of changes in personnel and direction. The play that they wanted to perform at City Park's Sculpture Garden, George S. Wolfe's The Colored Museum, finally got to take place at the New Orleans African American Museum. And more recently, he performed Passover there as well. But another performance space located on the Lafitte Greenway means they'll be returning to outdoor productions. My favorite was James Bartell's adaptation of Shakespeare's Tempest Reimagined. Meanwhile, JPAS dusted off a British farce, Noises Off at the JPAC. And the Tennessee Williams Theater Company's first revival of their namesake's work was Kingdom of Earth, which was quite enjoyable as well. I did want to acknowledge what I considered the best of the touring shows at the Sanger Theater. We don't really get to talk about them that much in the Broadway Across New Orleans series. A show I really enjoyed on Broadway, which deserved a longer run there when it was, I guess, compromised by the pandemic, was Mrs. Doubtfire. It starred Rob McClure. It's rare that a really true, genuine Broadway star will tour with a show these days, and I'm delighted we got to see what was a very faithful remounting of what ran at the Stephen Sondheim Theater. Ain't Too Proud, the big jukebox musical about the Temptations, was also very well cast. And then the massive Moulin Rouge set design was scaled back a bit for its showing at the Sanger, but the contemporary musical based on the Baz Luhrmann film largely delivered a slew of even more contemporary music. So I just wanted to go over those. Also,
okay, so the music offerings next.
A big shout out to some of the music offerings. Now, if you missed the Big Easy Beat with the Big Easy Boys and Babes, you missed a touching tribute to some of New Orleans' most beloved characters from the music scene. They covered Chris Kenner, Fats Domino, Professor Longhair, Irma Thomas, and even Alan Toussaint. They were wonderful. So go check it out if you get a chance to see them again. The New Orleans Opera Association has new management at the top, and they just produced the cook-off at SoFab, but I thoroughly enjoyed their earlier production of Lucia by Donizetti, Lucia de Lammermoor, of course. And then, of course, their backup is the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. They continue to do excellent work reaching out to honor our city of diverse souls. And that is really one that I wanted to touch on was no one program spoke more to the diversity than Birth of a Culture. It was a concert in which the black masking tradition, was oftentimes referred to as the Mardi Gras Indians, was honored with a classical music piece, and that was wonderful. And while the production still needs a lot of work, the world premiere here in New Orleans, at least, of Sand was over at Le Petit, and the exhibit that corresponded to the Presbytere of San Nicholas's Carnival Designs was also quite memorable last winter, and I just wanted to give a shout out to them. It's rare that you get to see a New Orleans carnival designer honored for his work, and they're thinking still of taking it to Broadway. Now, speaking of Broadway, I did want to mention some much anticipated musical offerings. We had the New Orleans to Broadway connections from the world of Broadway. We're still enjoying a respectable business with Pops and Satchmo's rendering by James Monroe Iglehart, who channels him very well in A Wonderful World. And here he is after one of the performances right before the opening, and he's really doing a great job there. One show, though, that fell victim was Tammy Faye. Unfortunately, the newest Elton John vehicle crashed and burned 5 days after it opened, but Michael Service, who calls New Orleans his home when he's not performing in New York, was the Reverend Jerry Falwell, and he stole the show. Believe me, for the few people who got to see it, he was wonderful. Off-Broadway, I just wanted to make mention, Here There Are Blueberries enjoyed sellouts and a house record at the New York Theater Workshop, heralded by New Orleans' own Tony Award-winning producer, Sue Vaccaro. And I'll say this, they are thinking about taking this modern whodunit, which was a Pulitzer Prize finalist last year by Moises Kaufman and Amanda Gronick, and trying to tour it around the country. So it's possible it will transfer to Broadway. We're not certain yet what's going to happen with that, but it is a show that you really should see. Here There Are Blueberries, and I'm just going to say that it got so much to it that it will be a riveting performance. It did. Well, Merrily We Roll Along, which was on the year before, it did very well with sellout productions. Actually, Here There Are Blueberries eclipsed its record. They did that well at the New York Theater Workshop.
Okay.
There you go.
Very good, Alan. That was the man is going on almost every night. I'm telling you. Anyway, very good. Bravo. Time for our picks. Poppy.
Well, of course, it is Christmas and Hanukkah, too. Celebrate Hanukkah with my dear friend Elan Shaya at L'Chaim Lounge at Saba, where he's serving latke boards and Hanukkah cocktails through January 2nd.
All right, Alan.
I'm so proud you said L'Chaim right. The first full-fledged opera with the LPO is going to not be until April, but I want to, just give a shout out to the opera. The first fully realized scenic design, costume designs will be uncorked when they have Donizetti's The Elixir of Love, bowing at the Mahalia Jackson Theater of the Performing Arts. I encourage everybody to get tickets now, and next year I will see you at the theater.
All right, and now my picks. Don't forget, City Park's celebration in the Oaks continues, both walking and car tour. My husband Errol and I visited the conservatory and the botanical garden and was very impressed, in addition to all the lights, by the giant poinsettia tree. Look at that. NewOrleansCityPark.org. The work of longtime St. John Parish art teacher Richard Nolan Bonetto is on view right now at the Williams Memorial Library and reserved until December 30th. The gallery is in the 1885 house. Quite the list of New Year's Eve activities locally, including New Orleans Eve with Tank and the Bangas, Bonorama, and DJ Q-Away, R-Q-Away, and Jackson Square, and of course fireworks over the river at midnight. Go to neworleans.com/New Year's Eve. Okay, there you go. And now I'm so excited. We leave you with a song performed by Danny O'Flaherty, the Irish balladeer, and it's called First Wind of Christmas. Danny's website is DannyO'Flaherty.com. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Oh, when caressed by the pure face of Mary on that first Christmas bright. Oh, when thou was blessed by the mantle of Mary, are you blowing somewhere tonight? When thrice blessed by the wonder of Mary, will you blow and bless me tonight? When blessing Jesus and Mary and Joseph, will you bless us all tonight? Oh, when thou was touched by the star of heaven on that first Christmas bright. Oh, when touching through the brilliance of heaven, are you blowing somewhere tonight? Oh, when thrice blessed by the wonder of Mary, will you blow and bless me tonight? When blessing Jesus and Mary and Joseph, will you bless us all tonight? Oh, when refreshed by the cloak of Saint Joseph on that first Christmas bright. Oh, when wrapped around by the blessing of Joseph, are you blowing somewhere tonight? Oh, when thrice blessed by the wonder of Mary, will you blow and bless me tonight? When blessing Jesus and Mary and Joseph, will you bless us all tonight? Oh, wind blowing round the mother of Jesus on that first Christmas bright. Oh, wind gently touching the air breathed by Mary, are you blowing somewhere tonight? Oh, wind thrice blessed by the wonder of Mary, will you blow and bless me tonight? When blessing Jesus and Mary and Joseph, will you bless us all tonight? Oh, when thrice blessed by the wonder of Mary, will you blow and bless me tonight? When blessing Jesus and Mary and Joseph, will you bless us all tonight?
Programming on WYES is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
From Masterpiece to Nova, Antiques Roadshow to Agatha Christie.
And of course, Steppin Out and Informed Sources.
We are pleased to support public television.
It's been our passion.
For a lifetime.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. The Chicory House Bistro at the Rink offers breakfast and lunch daily. And now a new bar upstairs inside the Garden District Bookshop, 2727 Britannia Street at Washington Avenue. Learn more at therinknola.com.